Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Cayo, Buda, St. Marcos, Dripping Springs, and Hayes Memorial Day observance. Today we gather to honor and pay respect to all our men and women who have served in the armed forces from Hayes County. Some of these men and women gave their all for yours and my freedom, so it is just right that we honor them today. Throughout the history of our country, men and women have served in all wars, from the separation from Britain to our current wars and places in between. They answered America's call. They took their oath, signed their enlistment forms. This form was a check given to the United States of America for the right to fight for her, including giving up their lives, to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America from foreign and domestic enemies. And that oath never had an expiration date on it. Today, our freedom is being put in one of the most challenging periods since the Civil War. Our freedom is in serious jeopardy. Our commander-in-chief is leading this great country astray. But our brave men and women continue to answer America's call to duty to the beloved country, to protect and defend the Constitution as did their forefathers. After the wars, some of these men and women came back to their beloved country. Some came home to heroes' welcomes, parades, pats on their back. But some came back to a disgraceful America. But needless to say, many would do it again, knowing fully well what the outcome would be. But today we are here to honor all, and especially those who proudly served and gave their all. They speak, but we can't hear them. They walk amongst us and shall never be forgotten as long as one of us veterans is still alive. As Americans, we must support our troops daily. Some of us today still suffer the nightmares and pain and struggles and continue on with life. Never has the suicide attempt and rate been so high as it is today. PTSD is not what's wrong with us. PTSD is what happened to us in the war and is still happening to us here in this country. Currently, we struggle with our benefits from the Veterans Administration and our government. When America calls, we answered her. Today, veterans call on America, but she's deaf, she doesn't hear us. Today, we also do a Vietnam Remembrance. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War. What started out when America sent advisors, then became a police action, which finally led to a war. To my fellow Vietnam veterans, in case you have not been paying attention these past few decades after we returned from Vietnam, the clock has been ticking. The following are some statistics that are once depressing, yet in a large sense would give us a sense of pride. Of the 2,709,918 Americans who served in Vietnam, less than 750,000 are estimated to be alive today, with the youngest American Vietnam veterans age approximately 58 years old. So if you're alive and hearing this, how does it feel to be among the last 1/4 of all Vietnam veterans who served in Vietnam? I don't know about you, but it kind of gives me chills considering that this is the kind of information we used to read about the World War II veterans and Korean War veterans. So the last 16 years, we have been dying too fast. Only a few will survive by the year 2018, if any. If true, approximately 425 Vietnam veterans die per day. Approximately 90% are by suicide. So in 1,095 days from today, you're lucky to be a Vietnam veteran alive in only 3.5 years. These statistics were from a variety of sources to include the VFW magazine, Public Information Office, Headquarters, Control Center Forward Observation, and First Recon, April 2010. The first man to die in Vietnam was James Davis in 1958. Now some facts. On November the 2nd and the 4th of 1964, 2 naval destroyers sitting in the international waters in the Gulf of Tonkin were fired at. August the 7th, 1967, U.S. Congress passed the Gulf of Tonkin resolution in response to this incident. March the 2nd, 1967, Operation Rolling Thunder in South Vietnam started. March 8, 1956, the first U.S. troops arrived in South Vietnam. January 30th, 1968, North Vietnamese and Viet Cong launched the Tet Offense. December 1968, U.S. troops in Vietnam reached 540,000 troops. 1969, July, President Nixon ordered the first of many U.S. troops to withdraw from Vietnam. April the 30th, 1970, President Nixon announced that U.S. troops would attack the enemy locations in Laos and Cambodia, but it was stated that we were never there. March 11th, 1972, North Vietnamese crossed the demilitarized zone known as the 17th parallel to attack South Vietnam in what became known as the Eastern Offense. July 27th, 1973, the Paris Peace Accords were signed that provided a ceasefire. March 1975, the last U.S. troops withdrew from Vietnam. March 1975, North Vietnam launched a massive assault on South Vietnam. April the 30th, 1975, South Vietnam surrendered. July 2nd, 1976, Vietnam, which involves a communist country, the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Today, we will honor all veterans who gave their all, and we especially are going to recognize 18 heroes from Hays County for their ultimate sacrifice. I ask that the police stand as we read the names of the servicemen, the branch, their hometown, date of sacrifice, and their name location on the Vietnam wall, the panel, and the line number. United States Army, Spec 4, Vicente Rodriguez Gonzalez, San Marcos, Texas, January the 9th, 1968, panel 34, line 31. PFC, Alfredo Lopez Jr., Kyle, Texas, September the 9th, 1968, panel 44 West, line 17. Sergeant Baines Bellew McSwain Jr., St. Marcos, Texas, October the 10th, 1968, panel 41 West, line 41. Staff Sergeant Michael Rodney Dorman, Kyle, Texas, April the 25th, 1969, panel 26 West, line 45. Spec 4, Juan Esquivel, San Marcos, Texas, October the 10th, 1969. Panel 34 West, Line 5. Warrant Officer 1, Conrad Jack Wheeler, St. Marcos, Texas, October the 10th, 1969. Panel 16 West, Line 5. Corporal Alan Walker Thomas, St. Marcos, Texas, November the 8th, 1969. Panel 39 West, Line 39. United States Marine Corps, Lance Corporal Felix Rodriguez, Hays, Texas, August the 24th, 1965. Panel 3 East, Line 101. Sergeant Edward Ray Gaitan, San Marcos, Texas, August 10th, 1967. Panel 26 East, Line 43. Lance Corporal Thomas Nelson Stiles, St. Marcos, Texas, December 7th, 1967. Panel 32 East, Line 82. Staff Sergeant Homer Doyle Sapring, Buda, Texas, January the 1st, 1968. Panel 34 East, Line 71. Lance Corporal Richard Lopez, St. Marcos, Texas, March the 27th, 1968. Panel 46 East, Line 47. PFC Manuel Gonzalez, St. Marcos, Texas, February the 26th, 1969. Panel 31 West, Line 67. Lance Corporal Edward Joseph Edmond, St. Marcos, Texas, July 7th, 1969. Panel 22 West, Line 64. PFC Robert Lee Roberts, Ripon Spring, Texas, August the 24th, 1969. Panel 19 West, Line 109. First Sergeant Henry Edward Barber, St. Marcos, Texas, October the 23rd, 1969. Panel 17 West, Line 108. PFC Kenneth Hayes McLendon, Ripon Springs, January the 2nd, 1970. Panel 19 West, Line 109. United States Navy, Lieutenant Commander Ray Gerald Roberts, St. Marcos, Texas, October the 2nd, 1965. Panel 03 East, Line 120. There were no POWs or MIAs as a result from Hays County as a result during the Vietnam War. Detail! Detail. Off. Right. Hey. Make ready.